Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel, friends. Today I have a layout for you for Cocoa Vanilla Studio. And I decided to use These Days collection. And the photo I documented is a photo of my older daughter. And this was taken quite a few summers back when we were on the hunt for waterfalls. And so we would, I guess it was like at least once a week, hop in the truck and just kind of, you know, cruise around looking for waterfalls. We had a general idea of where we'd find some, and so this was at one of them. And she just looked so cute sitting on a rock, and I'm like, look here! And that's the picture. So I started with that 12 by 12. That the actual paper itself is called Daybreak. And it's a colorful rainbow kind of ombre sheet of paper, and it's just fabulous. I love it. It's so vibrant in real life. And I decided that I was going to take some gesso. I know, guys, this is big because I don't do gesso ever. And I took an old gift card and I just slapped some down, um, and it dried, and that was going to be my background paper. And then I trimmed it down and I matted that with a sheet called Neighborhood, and that's that black and white you can see there. Um, that's that black and white pattern paper. And then I mat once again with the green polka dot that you'll see here in a minute, and that's in 12 by 12 as well. But here, this is where I start to doubt my original choice, and I picked a few other papers and then went back and forth between a few of them, kind of trying to decide what I was going to do. And ultimately, I went with my gut, and I stuck with the green and little teeny tiny white polka dot. I thought that looked best. And so I'm just trimming it up here. I took about half an inch from each side for my matting. Something very simple. I don't muck around. I don't, I just get it done. And so that is my background paper, right? So I'm really into a lot of layers recently, so double background mats, triple background mats, and I'm really loving it. And so the photo, like I said, is of my daughter, and I've printed it in black and white. I always feel like because Cocoa Vanilla Studio papers are so beautiful, like I don't want the photo and the papers and embellishments to contrast and conflict with each other. So I usually print in black and white. The odd time I do stick to the color photographs, but for the most part, I really like the aesthetic of black and white photos. If you were to ever come to my house, you'd also know that most of the photos that are printed in my home that are hung on walls and in frames are in black and white. It's just my thing. So now I'm taking photos. I'm not taking any photos. I am taking papers from the A5 paper stack, and I'm matting my photo. I did about four. Let's see, one, two, three. Yeah, four mats, and the mats are very subtle. Some are a little wonky, and they're not perfectly aligned, and that's how I like them. I don't really have a rhyme or reason for the way I do things. I just kind of do them, if that makes any sense. So now I'm going to start. My favorite part, of course, is embellishing, and I decided that I was going to start with the die cut ephemera, mainly because that's what my basis of embellishment is focused on. That's what it's based on, right? That's my foundation. Those are my foundation pieces. And so I remember I cut out some tabs with some of the paper. So there you see that wooden tab at the top of my photo. That is not in the collection. The paper is, but I just punched it out myself. And I luckily had another die cut ephemera pack there, so I just played with all of them. Because I'm very heavy on the embellishing, and sometimes I think, well, what if I miss out on something really cool that I could use on this layout too? And so I just, mishmash everything together. That doodle kind of black and white frame is one of my favorites, and I'm so glad that I did open the other pack because it was in there in a fresh pack. And I wouldn't have gotten to use it had I not opened the pack. So I had a few pieces of this frame. I had one from another layout that I had created. It was just partial frame, but the frame on the left, the whole one that I took out of the collection pack of the die cut ephemera pack, I snipped it and used the other piece on the other side. So it looks like I have multiple frames. Really, it's just one entire frame cut in. It's not in half, but cut into two pieces, and then like a little piece of another frame. So, but it does look like three separate frames. Now I'm just flipping through the ephemera. I'm trying to pick things that I think will work well. As much as I love the colors of this collection, the ephemera doesn't really go with what I was working with, right? So there are trees and whatnot, and there's like actual people, which is fantastic because I don't think I've ever actually seen that from CVS, so it's very different. But I wanted to stick to the florals. You guys know the way I am with my florals, right? So I kind of just put those ones aside. I'll use those for something else for sure because they're so cute. And I decided to just stick with the florals. So I took some of the envelopes that were filled with flowers and I layered them on top of the books that were there. And then layered on top of that the Picture Perfect Moments die cut piece, and that's going to act as my title today. I really liked it so much that I said, you know what, it doesn't need any other title, and that's what I stuck with. Now here I am going through the pieces. Now this is where I start to add my floral pieces and my embellishing. Add some more tabs. I have all the butterflies put aside because I love the butterflies. I always love butterflies in collections. Butterflies and the little hearts, you know, the little fillers. I just love those so much. Here I am adding a ton of tabs. This collection had a lot of tabs as well. So one says Best Day, one says Captured, and the other one says Sweet. And so they're all different and they work really, really well. And the Best Day one is layered on top of the wood grain one that I had punched out with my own tab punch. And now I decide that the bottom left-hand corner, I'm sorry, needs a little something to draw the eye downwards and kind of balance it all out. And this is where I just took a scrap little piece of the trimmings from the cardstock that I had trimmed, and I just made a little flag pennant. I haven't done that in years. Just cut a little fishtail, and I layered the black and white little strip there that I just cut with my fingers. I did not cut it with my fingers. I cut it with my scissors. And I'm going through and just adding the embellishments. I worked through the florals. I didn't want something really big and heavy, kind of, you know, just a couple pieces here and there to just add as accent pieces. I really wanted to add some greenery and some foliage. Actually, it's not greenery, it's the black and white pieces of the foliage. But I decided that it was a little heavy, so I decided not to add it because there's a lot going on in this layout with the background papers and all the florals. There's a lot of little details, and I didn't want it to be too much and overbearing and overly heavy. For the bottom corner there, I added a little piece of a floral stem, foliage, and then a little green flower on top. And then it says In the Moment. And then this is where I'm taking the accessory stickers, and I'm taking my oh so loved and my very, very favorite, the tiny phrases that are at the bottom. And those are my favorite. Those make their way to almost every single layout of mine. Because for the most part, I don't journal on my layout. Actually, probably ever. I don't journal on my layout. And so those little pieces add the details or just like a little message that I want to convey. And I'm taking the butterflies and I'm just kind of haphazardly placing them, but very particularly placed. And I only put glue in the center of the butterflies, and then I fold the wings upwards so that they look like they are in flight. I'm adding a few more pieces here and there, some more foliage. In that corner there I needed something, so those black and white leaves were perfect for that. Excuse my arm, reaching for the good old Heidi Swap Color Shine. And this is where I add the little specks of gold paint. And I just kind of put it where I feel, if that makes sense. So that's my layout for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys will join me again for another layout soon. I will leave all the details and the links to the Cocoa Vanilla Studio Facebook page and the shop and blog. So if you have a moment, just click the links down below and you can just kind of find some new inspiration if you need it. And we'll see you guys in the next video. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.